Vamos que nos vamos.
Malaga, the place of birth of Pablo Picasso and Antonio Banderas. Where modern meets traditional. Where narrow streets turn into broad boulevards. Where you can wake up with the echo of sea and go to bed with the sound of Spanish guitar in your head. She thought she knew everything about Malaga before she came. As usually, she did her research very well. But she still got surprised with so many things. She likes surprises. The nice ones, of course. She arrived to Malaga with her husband Jürgen. They stayed in an Airbnb apartment located in the old town of Malaga, owned by a nice French man called Jacques. Jacques was so kind that he even picked them up from the airport and brought them to the apartment. Jacques told them that he moved from Paris to Malaga with his wife when they both went into pension. They loved the Malaga leisure lifestyle, the weather, the people, the beach. It's just so much less stressful here than the life in Paris, he repeated a few times. He gave them advices where to eat good local fish, how to get to the beach, and where to try the best churros in the town. While her husband had to stay in the apartment to work, she used the time to get to explore the town on her own. The temperatures in Malaga in July were very high. Although she learned her lesson and started to use a sunscreen with protection 50 instead of 30 that she used to put before, she still tried not to stay for a long time in the direct sun. She remembered one funny anecdote from her life. When she came back from India to Europe, after living there for 2 years with her hubby, everyone back home asked her, "How can you be not tanned at all? You were for 2 years in sunny India." Well, what for some of her friends was hard to understand is that the sun in that part of Asia is so strong and dangerous that even factor 50 can often not protect you enough. So, instead of roasting herself under the Indian sun, as everyone in Europe would expect, most of the time she was wearing her big hat, long sleeves and long trousers. That's how you protect from the sun in Southeast Asia. Anyway, back to present, Malaga. First place she decided to visit when she left her Airbnb apartment was a nearby church. She entered the garden and admired the architecture of a tall chapel in front of her. After visiting the church, on the other side of the garden, she noticed a few beautifully fresh green-looking trees She was amazed when she realized that she is standing next to an orange tree. It has been long since she saw live for the first time orange tree in Greece. Oranges looked so ripe, and the whole garden smelled like a freshly squeezed orange juice. The view of the leaves and church looked so perfect. She decided to bring her hubby later on here to see the trees as well. She was walking around the tree, trying to pick up one orange and taste it. But they were all pretty high. She got the idea of shaking the tree, but that didn't help much, or at all. Not one orange fell down. On the ground were lying around a few old oranges. She checked them all, but they were all not for eating. Not every day is a good orange day, she thought. So she left the churchyard. Next place she visited was Plaza de la Constitución, also known as Plaza Mayor, Main Square. The square has been very important through Malaga's rich history. Many significant buildings were located here, like Malaga City Council, Mayor's House, the jail, the convent of the Augustines, etc. Today, the square is a place for gathering, celebrating. Surrounded with restaurants, hotels, palms, and this beautiful fountain. She felt so happy and grateful to be here in Malaga, this sunny coastal Andalusian town, rich in history and art. She made so many photos from the cute little corners and buildings. She knew she would come back home again after the trip with thousands of photos to go through. But that was just a normal case for her, whenever she was traveling. She already kind of got used to it. Do you remember those good old times when everyone was using film cameras? Sometimes, she considered about taking only one film camera to the trip. Still, never happened. She wanted to stay at the square longer, but the sun was getting stronger, and she already spent enough time in the open white space. It was time for next stop. What she usually does when she travels to hot places around the globe. She spends the sunniest midday hours in some closed spaces, like museum for example. So, she decided to visit the most famous museum in whole Malaga. But on the way to the museum, she passed by this random little plaza with religious site. In Malaga, you can accidentally come across them all the time, on the most unexpected places. Okay, let's go to visit Pablo. Here we are. Museo Picasso Malaga. The house where the museum is situated was not really Picasso's home. He was born in Malaga region in 1881 and lived here till the age of 10. In honor of this genius artist, Malaga opened a museum dedicated only to him, to celebrate his work. She was so happy that her hubby could make a break from working and joined her for a museum visit. Museum is in the heart of the old town. You cannot miss it. Like in a dream. That was truly inspiring and magical visit. She always admired Picasso, not only for his artwork, but also for his love and passion for life. Anyway, her hubby went back to work, and she felt like it's finally time to sit a bit, rest after hours of walking, sort up her thoughts and impressions from the day, and enjoy some traditional coffee. That means, of course, trying some traditional churros. Churros are very sugary Spanish sweets, and although she's actually not eating sugar for almost a year, she decided to make an exception here and try 1 or 2 traditional churros.
Hola!
She heard that the best place for eating churros in Malaga is called Casa Aranda. They close very early, maybe around 15 o'clock, so she was very lucky to be here on time. There were many tourists as well as locals enjoying their meal and traditional atmosphere. Whenever she would see locals eating at some place, she knew that it must be a good one to visit and not a tourist trap. She decided to take a seat inside to relax a bit more from the buzz of the day. And here they are, freshly baked churros, together with traditional Malaga coffee with milk, or café con leche. She was never interested in baking sweets, and she doesn't know many dessert recipes. But churros reminded her a bit of crispy donuts. First time she actually tried churros was when she was visiting Amsterdam. They were sold at every corner in Amsterdam, and there she ate them with Nutella. But here, they were pure. It felt so good just to sit and relax. She loved observing the locals enjoying their time. Spanish people are so friendly and relaxed. They do know how to enjoy life. The rest of the day, she spent wandering around without bigger plan, just exploring exploring all the cute streets, corners and squares. She ended up passing by a church, very close to the narrow food street with churros. She noticed an old lady singing Ave Maria. It sounded magical. She stayed there to listen to her before she entered to visit the church. The day was slowly ending, and the main streets of the old town of Malaga turned into evening going-out atmosphere. She met with her husband for dinner at the best place with Spanish tapas called Casa Lola. Although the COVID pandemic was unfortunately going on, the line for eating at Casa Lola was very long and busy. After probably half an hour, there was a free table for sitting. Perfect ending of a day. Next day, she started again on her own and went directly to the place that she was so much excited to visit. Mercado Central de Atarazanas. Mercado is located in the old town and is a closed building dating from 19th century. It is the best place to buy local fresh products, including fish in Malaga. The market itself was founded in far 14th century and witnessed a lot of Spanish history. The building was used as a warehouse, an arsenal, military hospital and a barracks. Later on, in 1870, the project by architect Joaquin Rucoba was approved for the construction of a new central food market. and since then, it stayed a favorite place for many locals. She enjoyed watching the locals buying all different types of seafood, discussing loud on Spanish, making jokes, and just enjoying simple shopping time. There is a lot good to learn from Spanish mentality. After she checked out all possible fish stands, she noticed a sign of a little bar or restaurant where they grill fresh fish for eating. She had to try it out. She loves eating fish. Whenever she travels to the seaside, she tries to eat as much as local fresh fish as possible. It was delicious. After El Mercado experience, she continued to explore the old town. She loved how all the buildings look like they have so much to say, how they witnessed so much of the history of Andalusia. She was always romantic and imagined all possible scenarios. Maybe Picasso was passing by exactly here. I guess we will never know, she thought. She enjoyed every moment since she arrived to Andalusia. Her next stop was the palm tree-lined street, Puerto del Mar, in Malaga Center. Oh, she missed so much these tropical vibes. She always loved how the palm tree looks, so strong and elegant at the same time. At home back in Germany, she bought one mini palm tree for her art studio that is some kind of cactus called Madagascar palm, a small version of tropical palm that gives her a bit of summer mood during the cold winter days. There was one more important site that she planned to visit this day. She passed by it already a few times, but she kept it for the sunny hours. But outside is so hot that the only thing that you can think of is shadow. The place she planned to visit was, of course, the Cathedral of Malaga. Malaga Cathedral was built in Renaissance style, except the facade that was built in Baroque style, and was constructed between 1528 and 1782. The North Tower is 84 meters high, making this building the second highest cathedral in Andalusia after the Giralda in Sevilla. The south tower of the cathedral, or how they call it, La Manquita, stayed unfinished. She was always amazed by cathedrals and the fact that people designed and built it so perfect so many years ago. Who knows how many people worked on it? Okay, time to go inside. Such a magnificent building. Tomorrow she will visit it again with her hubby, and they will climb the tower for the rooftop view. When she left the cathedral, she noticed the fountain in front of the main cathedral entrance. The square with the fountain is called Plaza del Obispo. The stone fountain was made by an anonymous artist in the 18th century and was used to supply water for the nearby residents. There were other stunning buildings around the fountain. The second day was slowly ending, and there was just one last place planned to visit this afternoon. It was a place that is just crazy to skip if you are in Malaga. And that is, of course, the beach, La Malagueta. The beach is a bit more far from the old town, but still manageable by foot. It is 1,200 meters long and 45 meters wide. What a great day to be alive. There is nothing more calming in the world than the sound of waves, she thought. Time to finally relax. So happy and grateful to be here. Gracias y adiós.